And Stephen A. Smith joins us with much more on this situation. Stephen A., what's your reaction to the uncertainty here for Zion and that knee?
No, I'm concerned. Let's just call it what it is, Kev. I mean, you walking around 280 pounds. We've been talking about you like you the second coming of Samson or Goliath or whatever the hell it is. And the next thing you know, before the season even begins, now you're not available. Then you got to look into the fact you got your knee injured against North Carolina in college when your sneaker just collapsed on you. Then after that, during the summer league, you needed to sit down because of an injury. And now this. So before you played a real NBA game, there's already been 3 injuries associated with you because you're walking around with 280 pounds and you're a locomotive coming in everybody. You play at full speed. You got to learn how to pace yourself, things of that nature. I'm certainly not wishing anything bad against him. This is a superstar in the making as far as I'm concerned. He's got incredible potential, but he's got to stay healthy. And when you hear stuff about his legs, anything but that, shoulder, wrist, elbow, whatever the case, that's different. But when you're 280 pounds and you're already sustaining knee injuries before a game is played in the pros, that is cause for concern.
You mentioned the word superstar. There was buzz this preseason the Pelicans could be a playoff sleeper in the West. What kind of impact does this injury have on the rest of the NBA with all that buzz and the excitement leading into the season?
Well, first of all, let me be very clear. The New Orleans Pelicans, in my estimation, wasn't going to the postseason anyway. Now, if they were in the Eastern Conference, I definitely would pick them as a playoff team. But in the loaded Western Conference, I'm not so sure that would be the case. But I do think that this kid would be an all-star. I do think that in a couple of years, this kid would be a superstar. You don't teach 280. You don't teach that kind of strength at his age. He already has that. If he can stay healthy, I have no doubt that he can make things happen. But even then, he wasn't going to be able to do it alone. I mean, when you look at Lonzo Ball and Derek Favors, Drew Holiday, Brandon Ingram, that doesn't exactly exude confidence in terms of them being a playoff team. All of them have talent, but were they going to be able to make that kind of significant noise in the West? Hell no. I didn't see that coming. So this is not about that. This is just about him.
All right. Stephen A. Smith on Zion missing the start of the NBA season.
The party music around the Pelicans has been silenced temporarily. New Orleans will tip off the season without their #1 overall draft pick, Zion Williamson. And while his knee injury isn't as serious as the team initially feared, it is expected to sideline the rookie big man for several weeks.
He's fine, you know. He's not dead, guys. So he's a typical 19-year-old kid. Like I said, he's upbeat.
While Williamson stayed behind in New Orleans to undergo further testing on his right knee, details of what happened are still coming into focus.
I think it's something that maybe happened in the San Antonio game, but that's basically,
Teammates said they just found out what was going on.
I just actually saw it on my Apple Watch, so.
At Friday's team shoot-around, the theme was, it's all going to be okay, despite the fact that the dance Williamson promised New Orleans will have to wait.
And by the power of television, you hear Malika Andrews' voice, and now you see her as she joins us from Madison Square Garden, where the Pelicans will, of course, be facing those Knicks without Zion. Malika, what more can you tell us about the Pelicans' immediate plan without Zion in the picture for the next few weeks?
Well, Elle, expect the Pelicans lineup to look much smaller tonight and going forward in Zion's absence. J.J. Redick is going to be starting in Madison Square Garden tonight. And Alvin Gentry told me that one of the exciting things about this young team is that it has a lot of depth, so they have a lot of options to be plugging in that starting lineup. However, that being said, I've been told by a team source that they expected Zion Williamson not only to start in the regular season, but perhaps rack up the most minutes of any player on the team. So it will be interesting to see what they do without him moving forward.
Listen, it's absolutely no knock on J.J. Redick, but I can't imagine Bourbon Street next Friday when they open up at home is going to be nearly the same with him starting instead of Zion Williams. Nevertheless, here we are. Malika Andrews joining us with the latest on Zion Williamson.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.